All right, this is Mr. Mean online with the fine folks at I.N.D.E Publishing, the fine makers of Shattered RPG. As always, I don't give a shit and you don't care, but I love you anyway. Let's start with, who do we have on the channel here? Go. Crickets, I love it. Anybody?
Well, the order was supposed to be, I guess, Josh stepped away, but I'm Philip, also known as Tex. I do lore and some web design.
Next.
Alex, also known as Litharian. I'm the numbers guy, as they like to call me.
Conrad, also known as Conrad. Go figure. I do most of the editing as well as a lot of the world building. And Josh is our CEO. He stepped away real quick. He should be back any second now. But he kind of runs the show. He did all of the InDesign for the final product. So he's the one that basically made the book as pretty as it is.
With the website.
And it is a pretty book. The website is gorgeous. Why don't one of you step up to the plate and tell us about the Kickstarter? It's over now, correct?
Last time I checked, yes, it is over.
Yeah, it ended almost 2.5 years ago, give or take.
Yeah. Not that I've been waiting that long for my freaking book. Or anything.
I know. It'll be here soon.
I'm just picking, Tex. I'm just picking.
We did pretty well. We got a really nice amount of people following us and backing us, and got a decent amount of cash from it, so we could make awesome books.
Get gorgeous art.
Get lots of gorgeous art. It's always never enough.
It's always a boner when I look at your book. I'm just telling you, it's gorgeous.
We did. We have people who just backed just because they loved the art so much they wanted to own the book that the art was in.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
No, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. That was amazing.
Yeah, I mean, who doesn't pick up a science fiction book from looking at the cover and go, "Fuck, I want to read that because it looks cool," you know? And the art, the story has nothing to do with the picture on the cover, but that's what yeah. And you guys also have a Discord channel, yes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Very active on the Discord. I know for personal experience because I'm on there every day. Because as the Mr. Mean viewers know, I'm in IT, so I deal with stupid people and I need to talk to intelligent people, which is why I'm on the I.N.D.E Discord. I haven't found any yet, but I'm on that channel.
Yeah, it's pretty active. I wish it could be more active, but work doesn't let me use the internet.
Yeah.
So.
Well, yeah, ever since that incident with the lollipops in the preschool, I understand.
Oh, jeez.
I told you this wasn't.
We're supposed to tell people. Goodness.
Oh, I didn't get that memo. I'm sorry. No, but in all seriousness, you guys are all very cool. I've dealt with NK and Tex the most. In fact, I think Tex and I will be at a convention in April. Yes,
that's the current plan. That
is the current plan, and hopefully we'll have some books in our hand by then. Can we get a update on the status of the book from somebody?
We don't have a new update. All I can say is that the check to
check's in the mail.
The check it was sent in the mail and cashed for the customs people, so we should be getting the book in a week or so? Question mark?
In a matter of days.
Days. Okay.
Yeah.
So in other words, the book. Say again.
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say so the books are actually here in the States. They're just waiting clearance from customs.
Yes. Yeah, that was what the check was for, is clearance to actually bring it off the boat officially into the country and then freight them from New York City to here.
And here being?
Rochester, New York.
Excellent. Excellent. So it is literally a matter of less than weeks, possibly days, before we might start seeing some shipping notices?
Most likely, yeah.
Oh, God, you're giving me a boner. The book is, for those of you that haven't seen the book, please do yourself a favor. Go to It's Never Dark Enough. Is that correct? .com? Or Never Dark Enough?
NeverDarkEnough.com.
NeverDarkEnough.com. Go there and look at that amazing website and do yourself a favor. I think you can still late pledge, correct?
I think we still have pre-orders in, yeah.
Yeah. So you can actually order the book through the Kickstarter website and also on your physical website. Yes.
Not through Kickstarter anymore. No. We actually closed down BackerKit because we have our own mini web store that uses PayPal.
Awesome. So there you go. Even easier to use PayPal.
There's also, for PDF at least, there's the drive-through.
Oh,
Yeah, drive-through RPG.
Yes.
Yeah, you can buy the PDF directly from us, but figured get as many channels out there as possible. So there is drive-through RPG.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Josh. And yeah, and that's the point of why I wanted to. I had reached out to Tex a couple of weeks ago because a couple of my viewers said, "Hey, man, you should do. You review all these games. You should." You should review some of the the publishers and the people that make these games. For some reason, some people think I'm funny. It's obviously they have low intelligence. But I actually yesterday did an interview with Mr. James Gantry of Feral Games Inc.
Yeah.
And it went about an hour, and it was a lot of fun. We had a serious moment. We had some laughs. James he's got his hands in a lot of stuff. And so the next thing I thought is, God, I got to talk to you guys because. I mean, no joke, guys. And we've said it a couple times. The book is just freaking gorgeous. I mean, it is.
Thank you.
It is everything you could want in a role playing.
Thank you. That's awesome to hear.
Yes, thank you.
Guys, I'm telling you, all joking aside and all seriousness, it is probably one of the prettiest books I've seen in a long, long time. I mean, I can't wait to get the physical property. I was going to print the book, and I realized that printers across the world would scream out and revolt, and Skynet would become active, and they would all kill me. That's how intensive that book is if you want to physically print it. It is just absolutely chock full of beautiful art, layout, everything. It's going to be a work of art. So I can't wait to physically get it in my hands.
That means a lot, man. Thanks.
Yeah, well, artists notwithstanding, I mean, you can really thank Josh for like 90% of that. He's the one who really did all that end game stuff for making the book come together like that. So
yeah, and it's
deal with all of us.
I think all you guys had a hand in it. I mean, Josh may have put it together, but I've been there from the beginning. I was one of your early backers. I think if you look at the backer count, not that I'm bragging or anything. But I remember the revisions coming out, when you posted them as the first ones I believe came out as text files. Am I correct?
It's something like that. Yeah, I don't recall.
Long time ago.
Our first was definitely the weakest of the book versions. It was here's 2 columns, have fun.
Oh man.
Decipher this shit and figure it out.
Oh God, yeah.
But you guys had a clear design, and I mean, I know I've been through the process a little bit, in publishing, and it's not an easy process. And gamers, I don't think understand the process of creating something. There's a lot of blood, sweat, and tears that go into it. It's not, the magical book fairy doesn't just produce this book and it shows up on a shelf for you to buy.
Oh my God, can that be a thing?
Yeah.
If I could make it, I would.
Well, for example, I mean, like you're saying, it's a lot of stuff going on. We started in Google Docs, did all the book in Google Docs. And then as we started putting it into the book, we realized just because it was the perfect page count in Google Docs doesn't mean it's the perfect page count in, say, InDesign.
Right. Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and there were more than one occasion where I Corey or Tex or Litharian would propose a change, or they'd write up an edit or something, or they'd say, move this thing over here because it makes more sense to be in this order or something, whatever it is. It happened dozens of times, and every time I'd explode in one of our weekly
God damn it,
meetings.
Conrad!
What the hell? You guys are seriously causing me a lot of trouble here, and it was but at the end of the day, it was just fine, I'll do it. Don't do it again, and then they do it again. So
yeah,
we'd add one word, and it would push the entire page count down one.
Exactly.
Oh yeah, it was things like that where Conrad just sees an opportunity to just make a sentence a little bit prettier or make it read just a little bit better, and he adds 2 words, and it bumps the paragraph over to the next page, and then subsequently everything else is out of order, and
yeah,
the world has ended.
Yeah.
Yeah, majority of the work those last like 6 months was like, Conrad, here's a list of places that I need you to make shorter because they don't fit the way you want them to fit. Go.
Go.
It's like, okay.
Here's a thermonuclear device. Try not to blow yourself up. Have a nice day.
No, I mean that's work, and I love doing it. Like I love everything
and
about.
It shows, guys. I'm not joking. I mean, I kept an eye on the change log, and like I'm telling you, the people out there listening, and anybody who watches this in the future, if you want to get an idea of how production and publishing works, I mean, you guys are a fine example of it because there's edits and re-edits and revisions and errata and everything, and then and no book survives the publishing process. I've heard one of my publisher friends say that in the past, because what you have in your mind never ever makes it to the paper in the way that you want it to. And I can guarantee, and I'm sure you guys will agree with me, even though as gorgeous as this book is right now, you guys see every glaring flaw in it that no one else will ever see.
I take them so personally. I get really upset.
I caught a couple. I remember it was like 2 weeks after we were like, all right, this is the final version, and I was like, I want to cry. It's right there. I'm staring right at it. Like, can we fix this? And thankfully, the publishers hadn't started yet, and we were able to fix it. But it's just like,
who put that fucking comma there?
It was probably me.
Yeah, the publisher wanted, I forget exactly what it was. It was there's something about the format that we gave them that wasn't exactly what they were looking for. So
they wanted
to margin. Can you send us a new copy of it? And I was like, guys, emergency edit time. Anything you find, go do it.
Go.
Yeah.
And one of the other things, we talked a little bit about this yesterday with my interview with James, but the process and the mysticism involved that the public has, that game designers are like, living in the Playboy mansion. It is, and I'm here to disbelieve that, because I know several, game designers, and I'm friends with a lot of people in the industry, and none of them are doing well. You may be comfortable, you may be happy, but none of you are living in Beverly Hills driving a Maserati. Am I correct?
Definitely a project of passion.
Yes, and that was my point. Not trying to belittle the hardworking Americans and or Canadians, if there's any, aka America Light. But it is. My point is that it's a labor of love. Nobody does this to get rich. A little.
Nice. Yeah, it'd be nice.
Well, of course, yeah, it would be great. Hey, I produce a book and it sells gangbusters, and I can retire. No game publisher ever said. Even John Wick, who is a personal friend of mine, actually was my roommate for a short period of time when we lived in that. No, it's not.
No?
He's a great guy, but I'm a former police officer, and so I sleep when I can, so to speak. And when it's 3 o'clock in the morning and all I hear is click, 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 someone on their keyboard.
Oh, jeez.
My first instinct is to get up and put a bullet in you. And John's bedroom was across the hall. I had a nice big house in Arizona, and he lived right across the hall from me, which was formerly my son's bedroom before I had the horrible, nasty divorce. That evil bitch may she rot in hell. I told him the next morning, I said, John, I'm going to work today, and when I come home at 4 o'clock, I better see a silent keyboard in your room, because if I don't, the missing person files are going to be coming for you. And it was funny because when I came home that day, sure enough, there was a Microsoft Quiet Touch keyboard box sitting on the kitchen table. So he made an effort. So he was a good roommate. I don't have anything bad to say about him, but he's such a prolific writer, and he's a one-man show for the most part. And it's just sickening he had really bad insomnia, and he would just sit up at night at 3 o'clock. I'm not joking. 3 o'clock in the morning, he'd belt out 50,000 words in a day, and those of you that publish and write, that's quite a bit. It's absurd. Yeah. And so the guy never turns off, and he always has a game idea in his head, which is pretty funny. So if you ever get a chance to meet him at a convention or anything, stop up and say hi and tell him John says hi. He'll go, oh, John Polak, that guy's a geek. But yeah, so no game publisher is rich ever, as I think is the meme that we should publish.
Yeah. Wanted to briefly go back to a point you made about just the level of work that goes into something like this. I had to text dig up our old edit list that we were working with before we completed the book, and we have a little over 4,200 edits in that list
And
since
that's
that document was created.
That's pretty vague too, because an edit could have been anything from this paragraph is too large, fix it, to there's a missing comma, to rewrite this entire section, it's awful. So
Yeah,
some of those
some
took
of
2
it was-
seconds, some of those took 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or longer.
Airships.
Yeah, airship.
Oh god, airships.
That was
That was like a 4-month project.
oh whoa. No, that's
No, why 6?
when I joined the team, I was the last team member to join. Airships had not even been codified yet. Like they still hadn't quite agreed on any one way to handle it.
But
And
they
it
were in
wasn't
the
till-
fiction though, right?
Yes.
Yeah, because I
So they
remember reading one of the edits where you were, and I was like, well, I'm looking through the PDF because at that time I think it had come out as you'd sent out the revisions as PDFs, and I was going, there's no stats for airships. Where's the airships? I want
Yep,
airships.
yep,
Where's the
yep.
airship?
Yeah, 'cause it
Like,
wasn't
you're
until about a
talking about them?
I think it was a year and a half after I joined that we finally, after weeks of arguing, settled on a system to build airships and combat. And then it was like another couple weeks for them to settle on that, and then another 4 months of editing because it was a mess.
All
Yeah,
right.
there were a couple versions of airships.
Beforehand that were, yeah.
I remember vaguely 9 revisions that you guys sent out to the Kickstarter backers. And it may have been more to your internal
Way
playtest.
more internal. But yeah, there
Yeah,
were 9
I was-
official and the re-release.
Right. And
And I was I was putting out at least 2 or 3 internal revisions a week.
ooh,
I probably have a few hundred files because we don't get rid of them. We keep everything just in case
Right.
we need to go back for historical reasons and look. So I think I still have them all somewhere.
and then your hard drive crashed. No.
Thankfully, it's all with Google, so we're good there.
Google
Yeah,
Docs.
shout out
is
to
my
Google
friend.
Docs.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's the other thing. And so aside from now that we've beat the publishing side to death, I want to move on to some other stuff. So one of the big things will be where's the book going to be available? Where can people who haven't backed it on Kickstarter, once all the backer rewards have gone out and the book is in the wild, where can, say, Joe Blow off the street go and buy it?
So we're going to have it just like how we have the pre-orders up on our website. We're going to transition that to just general orders. And then at least initially, I'm going to be working on trying to get it set up in Amazon and maybe a few local game stores that are near each of us respectively. And then from there, who knows?
Okay. All right. Well, I'm going to throw my hat in the ring here and say that I have Bookstand, which is the local game store here in Beaumont. And there's not another game store until you get to Houston. So
That is correct.
That is correct. Tex knows. And then I am personal friends with David Donahoe over at I.N.D.E Games. He's a good friend of mine. And so if you need a point of reference or anything to get books into those 2 stores, I would be more than happy to talk to the owners for you and put in a nice word to say, yeah, they're dicks, but they're nice guys. And help get the book out there a little bit more because it is
Thank
a
you.
work of art. And I think it's reading the mechanics and everything is fun. It is the quintessential everything in the kitchen sink game to me. Because my God, you can play a fungoid. I mean, who doesn't want to play a fungus?
And that was where backer created too.
Yeah. Was it really?
Yeah,
It was,
Florvana was. We had one tier in our Kickstarter that would allow someone to create a playable race, and in hindsight, that was a really dangerous idea. But the guy that paid for it was phenomenal. He had a great idea, and it really fit well with the lore we'd already established. So
whoever did the art for that nailed it. I mean, on the character page, when you see the races, the male and the female, I mean, it just spot on. I mean, when you see that, you have no doubt what it is. So again, you know, I hate to keep harping on the art, but
It's hard not to.
I mean, if the people out there don't even play you don't like role playing games, you're a board game guy, or you play Monopoly, you know, and you eat Cheetos and live in your mom's basement, that's okay. Buy this damn book and leave it on your coffee table. It's going to get you laid. It's that good. It's that good. I'm not lying.
Oh,
bring a hot chick over. She's going to see that. She'll be all over you. Or a hot guy. We don't discriminate here at Mr. Mean.
I definitely appreciate that. I know the guy who did all the art for all the races, his name is Alex Chaudray, lives in Paris, and forget who he's working for now, but we found him early. He was one of the first artists we worked with and developed a really fantastic relationship with the guy, and he just does some incredible work. He's also responsible for our cover too.
Yeah, it's again phenomenal. So we've kind of beat the book to death, and I don't want to really go over like mechanics and stuff like that, because I think the point here is people should go out and buy the book. You know, no, seriously. I mean, the point is you guys put this labor of love out, and you want to make a little money off of it. And gosh, if I can help you do that, so much the merrier. And I'm telling everybody out there in YouTube land, go out and buy the damn book. You will not be disappointed. If nothing else, maybe you don't like the mechanics, you'll love the art, you'll love the layout. It'll be a great conversation starter. But aside from that, you've got the successful Kickstarter, you've got an awesome website, you've got a real nice community going on your forums and on Discord. Do you still have you still have the forums up, right? You redid the forums recently. Yeah. Because that's where you go to get all the downloads, right?
Some of the downloads, yeah.
Some of them, yeah, like the character sheet and stuff. So, and Discord, of course, is I'm on it all day long, I'll admit. And I chat with people as time permits. But what's the next step here? What is I.N.D.E looking to produce next, if anything?
Tex, you want to open with that?
All right. Well, first off, we're working on the campaign book we promised in the Kickstarter many moons ago.
I wasn't going to bring that up, but
we're doing pretty well. That should be something for Zip to answer about that part, where we are.
Oh, well, I mean, my best estimation, we're about 75% through setting up not only writing but also assembling and laying out chapter 1, the first of 4 chapters of this campaign. Yeah, it kind of turned into something like, you know, if you remember back from our early days of the Kickstarter campaign, we had initially said we were going to do something incredibly foolish, and that was print out the playtest and ship out the playtest to everybody who
still waiting on it, by the way.
Yeah.
Just saying, never got it. If you guys
very early on, we realized, like, what the hell have we done? Like, this is not okay. And so to make up for us not doing that, we said we'd write a campaign book and give it away for free. So that's the intent. Once we get this done and put it together and assembled, backers will get early access to it as we're developing each chapter, and then once it's done, we'll put it up on DriveThruRPG for free. Or if you want to have it printed, you can pay them to have it printed, but it'll be basically at cost. So
you won't make anything financially off of it. If I decide to get it and get it printed from DriveThru, you don't get any of that money.
No, I mean, I don't know exactly how printing through DriveThru works for free stuff, so we may end up like making, you know,
$1,
pennies or $1 or something like that. But hey, it's effectively
that's more than you had yesterday. No, I mean, and that's a great idea. And James yesterday when I was talking with Feral Games Inc., he touched on that as well. When he was trying to get out there, I guess what I'm leading to here, let me rephrase it. How does it feel to be a really small fish in a medium-sized pond? Because nobody knows who you are except for your backers and the couple people that have come through it. But you know, you don't have Matthew Mercer sitting there running your game every Thursday night on Twitch. You know what I mean? So how do you guys perceive yourselves in this industry of giants like, Mutants and Masterminds, Dungeons and Dragons, those games that have been established for 20 plus years. I mean, how do you guys think you fit in, and do you fit in, or do you not want to fit in? If that makes sense.
Speaking for myself, I try not to think about it.
Gives you an aneurysm.
Yeah, I think everyone else probably has their own answer for that question, but I know for me, if we make a little money off it, good. If we end up, turning this into something much larger and having expansions and things like that, fantastic. But I just, this is one of those things that I wanted to do before I died, so to speak, and so, we build a great community, which, we're definitely on the edge of right now, and whatever happens will happen, and the big guys aren't going to care about us. And I think especially if you come from the land of crowdsourcing, you generally have camaraderie with all of the other developers out there that you come across. So there's not like the cutthroat kind of competition that you might see with the big guys.
Right,
so I'm not too worried about it.
Yeah, but then you look at like Chris Birch from Modiphius. This guy was, producing books out of his garage, and he managed to get the Mutant Chronicles license, which, he did a successful Kickstarter, and then he did the Achtung Cthulhu, and then, then he did, Conan, and it's just snowballed. And now, he has a factory and a warehouse, and he has an office complex, you know what I mean? And it all came from
they're huge now.
Yeah. And
relatively speaking.
Yeah. And, I sent an email asking him if he'd be on the channel, and I just got back up. So I don't know what that means. Actually, no, I did. I'm just picking. I actually know Chris. I've chatted with him a couple of times. I actually run demos for Modiphius at conventions when I can, and he's a super nice guy to work with. But I'm just saying, does anybody think in that aspect that, God, we could be as big as Modiphius one day? Or is that not a concern to any of you? You're doing this for the love of doing.
It would be nice.
I mean,
for me.
it'd be nice.
Yeah, I think that's the general consensus on the team is it'd be nice. We love what we do, and we're going to do it regardless of whether or not we make it that big. But I feel pretty confident. Like, it's a strong product. I mean, there's plenty of other post-apocalyptic settings, but I feel like we did a pretty good job in bringing a very unique take and adding, some fresh spice to the genre, and
without a doubt,
meshing of all the genres we have and all the themes we have.
Again, fungoids.
So there's just a little bit of everything for everyone.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. So I guess that leads into, we know we've got the campaign book, and it's going to be free. What and maybe this might be a question for Josh. What's on the horizon? What's the next step? The Kickstarter was successful. Hopefully the campaign book will be just as successful, not necessarily monetary reasons, but maybe to bring this game into the light for more people. Because, gamers are a fickle crowd. We want more, I mean, that's why look at Shadowrun. How many books does Shadowrun? How many books does Palladium have? Gamers want, they engorge themselves on the content, and then they look at you going, more. They're a baby bird, you can't fill them up. By the way, I'm one of those. Where the hell's the next book?
Yeah, we like collecting things, that's for sure.
Yes. Hoarder much? Can you see the boxes?
I know we've for a long time we've talked about a number of different expansions. A lot thematically similar to some other expansions you see for things like Pathfinder or D&D, where we kind of take one thing and focus on it. Like, so we've talked about a heavy crafting expansion and going into industry and steam armor and a whole host of other crafting related pursuits. And then we've talked about another one where we open up the world of magic, where we add like half a dozen new magic schools to the list and things like that. But right now, like, how our development usually plays out is like, usually, we just kind of write whatever comes to mind. If someone has an idea, they write out the system and they pitch to everybody, and then we kind of run like the way Valve does to an extent, where it's just like if you can get people on board with your idea and get it fully fleshed out and developed, then we'll throw that into the next book, kind of thing.
Yeah, I know. I for one want to make a really lore-heavy book based on how people grow through time base, from baby to death. What's their general experience per city, per region? What are the major influences of living in a certain city, in a certain place, and stuff like that?
So let me ask, are any of you published fictional writers?
Aspiring.
Yeah, I think we've got at least 3 aspirants.
Wants to be. Because, I mean, to me, and it just my opinion, guys, and just throwing it out there, you have these very unique races in the book, which is the first thing you're drawn to in the book. You go through I think it's called the glass waste or whatever it is, where it's all the glass and everything. And you walk through it, you get cut to ribbons. And you have all that beautiful iconic landscape and this setting, which the book gives you a ton of. But then you go into these races. I mean, I would think the logical step would be to start putting out, a vampire, a fungoid, each race book where you expand upon. But I don't know if there's a market for that per se. I don't think anybody knows that, right? I mean, it's one of those things. That's the problem with publishing in a role-playing game environment. You don't know what the market will bear until you put it out there, at which point it's feast or famine. So I just throw in my own two cents there, saying I'd love to see like race books.
That's kind of what I was hinting at, kind of about saying specifically, is that it's not only just city life, but also each of the races. What do they experience? Things like how do they grow? How do they change since they were discovered?
Yeah, I mean, I think that would be super cool in this day and age of self-publishing and everything. I mean, you guys definitely. And if you keep the same artist or similar artist, I think you definitely have a market.
Yeah, absolutely. I think to a certain degree, I tend to go by. I think Stephen King once said something to the effect of like, write for yourself, don't write for other people. Exactly. And so I think I kind of think in those terms when I'm writing anything, be it for Shattered or my own pursuits in writing novels and things like that. It's if you write for other people, you're gonna disappoint everybody. As long as you like it and then you can stand by it, and other people will be drawn to it. So it's kind of what I stick to.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I think the first audience you have is yourself. When you write something, you have to it's like writing a term paper for those of us that were back in school back in the day. God, you hated writing those papers, but at least when you were done, there was that sense of completion, and it may have been the worst piece of shit you ever wrote, but it was done, and then you turn out and you get an A on it or whatever, so we're our own worst critics in life and in the endeavors that we do. And, I think you got, like you said, you've got to write for yourself and make yourself happy. And then I think you guys, we've touched on the collaborative process, but did you guys have like a weekly or a monthly gaming group where you're obviously all over the country, so I'm assuming you guys play by either Roll20 or Skype or Discord or what's the process? How did the game come about? Were you guys a gaming group and you used to game together and you all had a crazy idea to make this world of Shattered? How did it come about?
Oh, we're reaching back into ancient history, aren't we?
Well, I am old. I'm a grognard, self-proclaimed grognard.
So we're, the kind of cool thing about this call is we've got people from different kind of generations of the team. I was one of the original members when we first started, and our without going into the whole long story, because it is a long story, but we had three of the guys on the team had been working on another project. And the guy running that particular project was very
authoritarian.
Yeah, that's a good word. He ran it like a regime, and he was at the top of it. And
Nick Heil.
And yeah, so it was we could come up with all the ideas we wanted, but he would come in and change things or remove things he didn't like without talking to anybody. There was no collaborative process. There was no communication. It was just kind of it was working in a very oppressive kind of environment. And
So like working at EA.
Yeah.
Sorry, I didn't say that.
So at a certain point, we decided we were going to leave and take our material with us because we were tired of working like this, and we did. And we had walked away from a kind of, I won't say it was a post-apocalyptic world, the game we were working on before, but it had this kind of like planes floating out in the ether that were all kind of floating around each other and stuff, and we kind of liked this idea of having, parts of the world no longer there and stuff. So we just kind of, like, I think the first 2 weeks after we left that project, we were on 4 hours, on Skype with each other for like 4 or 5 hours a day for a couple of weeks, just like spitting out all the ideas that were kind of suppressed in the old project. And then we kept writing, and then Tex and Litharian joined a little bit later when that same guy running that same project found a new team to oppress. And
it was us.
And kind of not even gonna lie about it. I actively, it was like, because we were all part of a same gaming group. We were playing on an ancient digital tabletop platform called Trapes back in the day.
Never heard of it.
Ran off Python.
Yeah, it was
Python.
It
Nice.
was way before the age where you could pull this stuff off in a web browser. So, and we were all part of the same Skype group for gaming and stuff. Even after we left, we were still playing games with the guy. And so he brought his new team in, and I actively was like, "Hey, he's got new people. Let's invite him in to work on Shattered and see how things pan out." Just kind of hoping that they would ultimately come on board with us. And sure enough, he drove them away too. And and here we are. And then Corey was a friend of Tex's, I think. And, Corey.
College roommate, actually.
Yeah, we were college roommates for all 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome.
Yeah, they asked me to playtest, and I loved playing the playtest so much, even back in the earlier, uglier days. That I was like, this is awesome. I would love to help you guys. And they're like, yeah, here's all the material. I was like, okay, cool. But you could probably word this better. And this sentence, that doesn't make sense. Is this what you meant? And they eventually gave me access to just edit it. And they're like, just go for it. And I got so involved. They're like, do you want to just join the team? I was like, yes, absolutely, please.
So Corey, what's your background? I mean, what do you do for a living day to day?
I am a linguist for the Air Force.
Wow. So you're an Uber nerd.
Yeah,
you're you're a rotor head nerd. So
I mean planes work.
Yeah, rotor head nerd.
That's why he's so good with editing, because that's what he does all day.
It's what he does all day.
In a manner of speaking.
No, that's awesome. And so, all right. So next down the line, Josh, what do you do for a living? I know I asked you outside of the broadcast, but
yeah, I'm an IT guy.
I did kind of notice from all the computers in the background.
Yeah. I took that at my office at work. I'm an IT guy. I've been working on a help desk for the same company for 6 years now, and it pays the bills. It allows me to pursue things like this, and it's really all there is to it. I've been doing this stuff for years. Got on board actually with not D&D, but I started playing 40K, Warhammer 40K on the tabletop with the miniatures and everything.
Gotcha.
And then kind of found all of this other stuff.
Yeah, I think that there's one crack addiction that leads to another.
Yep.
For me, it was D&D. I like I said, I'm a grognard. I'm almost 51, and I'm currently in ITs. And Tex will get a kick out of this. But Josh, are you hiring?
You don't want to come here.
I always tell Tex, God, I got to get away from this company. They suck.
I don't know if Tex has ever mentioned it, but I've said the same thing to him. I was like, are you guys? Is your company hiring IT guys? Like,
I was basically begging Tex, please hire me. I would love to come live by you in game. I pick on it. Is Tex, is Asher your wife or your girlfriend? I'm sorry.
My
Not
fiance.
to put you on the spot. Fiance. Okay, that's just a fancy word for girlfriend. You know that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Just I mean, you live in Texas. I got to spell these things out for you, man. I'm sorry. Ash is going to verbally beat me down on Discord tomorrow. Watch if she's not watching this right now. But no, that's awesome. So then Iltharian,
Litharian.
whatever. Sorry, guys. Litharian, but it's Li, which is Lee.
Like lithium or lithion. Just it's
Okay,
Litharian.
now you're just being a show off, all right? Dick.
we shorten it to Lith if that's any
There
help.
you go, Lisp.
That's
I can
true.
do my lisp.
There you go. Well,
What do you do, sir?
me, I'm just a college student. I just out of the military after 8 years, and I'm using my GI Bill currently.
Excellent, excellent. What branch?
Army.
Good man, good man. 12 Bravo. Hoorah.
88 Mike.
Nice. I was 12 Bravo in the Army. So one of the first set of boots to touch down over there in Desert Storm.
Funsies.
Oh, yeah. It was
Not really, but yeah.
No, not really. Sleeping under 5 tons is not my idea of fun.
No, it's not fun.
And who knew the desert could get that fucking cold?
Oh my god.
Yeah. All right. And in Tex, I know what you do, but for our listening audience,
I'm a geologist for oil company. I color
geologist.
maps.
So you're a rock nerd.
Yes.
Oh my God! Ask him about rocks.
I'm not even going to go there. We'll save that for off air. That's awesome. And for those that don't know, I'm an IT administrator for a small pharmaceutical company here in Beaumont, Texas. They suck. No one from my work knows I have this channel, and I won't mention their name. But it is a job, and it almost pays the bills. I keep begging Tex to hire me, but he's a dick and won't. So. But I love what you guys do in all seriousness, and I know I pick and I poke fun. I feel like I almost know Tex, and I told Asha when we get to the con in April, I'm just going to run up and give you guys a big hug because we pick on each other back and forth all day long. So it's
Nice.
It's always a cool feeling to get to hobnob with the people that you talk to, even though you didn't get to meet them. You haven't met them yet. And so when you physically meet them and you're like, oh my God, he's the biggest nerd like me. So it's really cool. And they have snakes, and I'm a huge snake lover. So if anybody didn't know that. So, all right. So we've gone over pretty much the next thing I'd like to ask, and we'll start with Corey, is what, if any, Kickstarters you're interested in and or excited about? Beside your own, of course.
Yeah, of course. I think the last one I was looking at was the League of Seekers.
Yes.
So Feral Games.
Feral Games, yeah.
And League of Seekers introduced me to their Discord, which introduced me to their team and their games. And actually, I might actually start backing all of their games or ordering them. I haven't really looked into it, but League of Seekers is probably the only one I've really got on my plate right now.
Same.
Yeah,
I'm right there with you.
Money,
Yeah, I'm right there with you, or lack thereof.
Yeah.
Okay, so Josh.
Actually, League of Seekers is in that same boat.
All right, you bunch of ass kissers. Stop it.
I haven't. I honestly haven't since I stumbled on League of Seekers myself. I haven't really checked Kickstarter since. So I need to go back up there and do that.
Yeah. Just as an anecdote, when I was talking with James yesterday, I didn't realize that he had so many fires in development and had worked on other games. So the guy's been around for a while. He's done some crazy shit. And it's really cool to, and he's got Ghost Ops, which is going right now, or finishing up, I should say. And he's got some really cool plans for the futures. Shameless plug. If you haven't watched my interview with him, go back and watch it. It's pretty cool. Very informative. So that's 2 for League of Seekers.
I take it back. The last one I actually looked at, I didn't haven't backed it yet, but I started was the Princess Bride role-playing game.
What? I didn't know about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
Inconceivable.
I'll Yeah, exactly. I'll drop a link of it again in our off-topic chat. But
Please, that would be phenomenal.
I saw that. Was like, yeah, that would be fun. It'd be a good time. Looks like it uses fudge dice, so that's
even
perfect.
better. Yeah. Okay. That don't tell my wife. Yeah, honey, I had extra groceries this month. Yeah, that's it. Lotharian. Did I say it right? All right. What Kickstarter or upcoming game are you interested in, sir?
Kind of a weird one, but the Little Game Master.
What is it?
The Little Game Master.
Never heard of it.
Yeah, it's one of those off-brand ones.
And well, okay, tell us about it.
Well, it's more to get kids involved into
awesome
doing role-playing stuff, and I was like, yeah, that seems pretty good.
That is definitely a good thing. Well, hopefully you'll be able to put a link up in the offline or the off-topic chat over at I.N.D.E.
Yep, there it is.
Okay, or feel free to post it on my channel. You guys are all invited, of course. Tex is on there. I think.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not saying you have to. I'm just saying if you don't mind to do it, because I mean, we have to promote this industry all the way around. You know, I think, and that's part of why I do this. And like I said, I'm small potatoes, you know, but even if one person watches this and goes and backs your Kickstarter, then I feel like I helped, you know, or buys your book, and it makes me feel good. So, and damn it, I don't care about you guys. I care about me. All right, Tex, your turn in the hot seat.
Well, I'm gonna jump on the League of Seekers band as well. That's the last Kickstarter one I backed for that. I've backed one other game since then. It was in a tabletop, so does that count?
Sure. It's a Kickstarter.
It's a game in the same vein of if you've played RimWorld or Dwarf Fortress.
Yeah.
It's called Starmancer. It's what's it called? Space station style survival game.
Management survival. Yeah. That it does look. I was looking at that last night, as a matter of fact. I just recently, as of like 10 minutes before we started this, I posted my Symbarium review. If you guys have never looked at that game, and you're all, I assume, role-playing geeks, I would think so, or you wouldn't be here. That's a great game out of Sweden by I.N.D.E Publishing, and they've done a fantastic job. Another book that has literally beautiful art, but it is a dark game. I mean, God, you read this book and you're like, I'm gonna go slice my wrist now and take a warm bath. It's pretty dark, man, but it's very well written, and it's the art is beautiful. It's very dark art, but it is very beautiful. But if you haven't checked it out, go check it out. It's worth your money. You can get it as a PDF and a physical book, and it's gorgeous. They're slowly converting everything from Swedish to English.
That's okay. We're all about that. That is our name, after all.
Exactly. Yeah. So I figured it wasn't going to be. It wasn't too far of a shot off. So anything else you guys want to talk about? Anything you're doing in your lives, or doing any special locations that I.N.D.E's going to be at, or anything like that?
Yeah, we are going to be. I'm working on a couple other cons up around here in the Western New York region, but we are going to have a table set up at the Flower City Comic Con here in Rochester, New York. I'm pulling up the dates for that now.
Excellent. And is that going to be in time to actually have product, or are you just going to?
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So you'll have product at sale at the convention?
Yes. Yep.
So people can go there and buy a book. That's where you say yes.
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 Sorry, I was looking up the.
Yes.
I'm picking, man.
To assuage any concerns. Yes.
Yeah, exactly. Yes, for God's sake, yes, go buy the book.
June 9th and 10th.
June 9th and 10th.
Of course, we're going to be at hopefully at MagCon in April. That'd be first week in April, I think.
Yes, 7th and 8th.
I'm also going to really try to be at RTX in Austin, because one of our backers and friends, and also who's publishing his own system soon, Bear from Tap M, who's making Project
Biomotus. Yep.
Mm-hmm. He's pretty cool.
Put some links up there if you've got them. obviously on your own off topic, and or if you don't want to do it on yours, and I totally respect that, feel free to post it on mine. Because this is such a small niche group. The more we get people involved in it, the better it is for everybody. And that's just my personal feeling. I love the idea of running games for kids. Here in Beaumont, I work with the local homeless shelter for kids, and I run games and like Faith, burning games. I backed their Kickstarter for Faith, which is a gorgeous book. And what happened is, just a little anecdote story here. They sent me my first Kickstarter copies and they got mangled in the mail. And so I did a video review of it and I talked about it, and I reached out to the guys at Burning Games, and Helios from Burning Games, he replied back to me and said, "Hey, we're gonna send you another copy." And so they did. And so what I did is I took the damaged copy to the youth club and I gave it to those kids over there, to the organizers. Nice. Yeah. I mean, games are fundamental, I think, for youth development because they allow, it's reading, math, social interaction. It's all the things that make people good. And we have a generation, and pardon me if I step on any toes, we have a generation of idiots out there. And we need to help them as much as we can. When kids reading Tide Pods, don't tell them about don't tell them about the bunt cake under the toilet.
Oh my god!
Those that have done home repair. Or my personal favorite, the cotton candy in the ceiling.
Did you see the guy who tried to vape a Tide Pod?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well.
Blithering. And let's remove from the gene.
What's the other one that came up? It was
the lawn brownies.
That is the hot coil challenge.
Yeah.
Oh
yeah.
my god!
Yeah, that's we need to take these people out of the gene pool. I'm sorry.
They just need some guidance. They just don't know where to exert all this energy they have. They just need manual labor.
They need to play tabletop RPGs. That's what they need to do.
There it is.
Yeah.
There it is.
Okay,
It's intellectual labor.
You guys are a little bit younger and nicer. If you didn't realize, my nickname is Mr. Mean. Fuck them. Take them out of the gene pool.
I mean, I say Darwinism should be strong right now.
Yes.
I mean,
we should take the warning labels off. That's what your parents are for.
Take the warning labels off. All medicine caps should be twist top. Okay, that's all I'm saying.
I mean, I'm not going to
like candy.
That either.
Here's a
Francis Galton, the Thunder Genix, will be proud.
Mom, look, I found all your Tic Tacs and I ate them all at once.
Well, sweetie, you're gonna die.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Good luck. Sorry, the name dies with me. No, and I joke and I kid. I love children. Like I said, I got 3 of my own. I was really bored one night. I'm sorry. And my wife actually decided to spawn with me. So it's
just you were bored once.
Well, bored once, and I spawned 3 children. That's how fucking good I am. No, my eldest is 26. My next one is 19, and I have a 1-year-old. Yeah.
Good luck.
That's interesting.
Pray for me.
Yeah.
Pray for me, please. Somebody drive by and kill me. No, I love my son. He is the apple of my eye, and my wife is fantastic. And she puts up with all my crazy shit because, you guys think this is an act. This is how I am all the time. So let's see what else.
I believe it.
Bought it hook, line, and sinker. This guy's knucking futz. So any other hobbies and interests we want to share with the people out there before we wrap this up? Anybody do anything off kilter, or anybody in the SCA, or like to wear women's dresses to operas? I'm not judging.
I mean, I heard a rumor about Tex once, but
it's not a rumor. It's everybody knows about that.
I mean, I know we all have our side projects and things like that. I know Tex has one if he wants to.
Do tell Tex.
To share.
I do.
Thought you did.
No, not really. I mean, there's the book I've been slowly writing over the last years. I've been writing a kind of like a, because for those of you who have looked at Shattered at all, there's these 4 recurring characters we have. And they'll be recurring in our campaign book. And eventually I want to finish writing a book that actually details their origin story, basically, and how they came into the universe and their fates.
That would be awesome.
The time is not my friend.
Never is.
And you're
Never has
chatting
enough.
turkeys like me on Discord, of course, when you could be writing.
Exactly.
Let's see. I am outside of Shattered. I am working on writing a novel and working on writing a children's book. So
Really?
Yeah.
That is awesome, sir. That is kudos to you. That we need more of that kind of stuff.
It's called Kids for Cthulhu.
No, it's actually I don't remember how the idea came to me, but it's actually about a Wetbeard the pirate.
Wetbeard.
Wetbeard, yeah. It's because he's really clumsy and he always falls off his ship. So he's got like a starfish hanging out in there and stuff like that that changes his emotions depending on what's going on. But yeah, and it just the idea kind of came to me, and I was working with both of my sisters on it for a little while, trying to conceptualize the world and the characters and everything, and kind of started writing it as like, what are some of the lessons that I wish I knew when I was a kid, things that I understood, that I wish my parents had told me when I was growing up, and then now eventually, if I'm able to take it that far, eventually I'd like to turn it into a tabletop RPG for kids, kind of like that thing that Lith was talking about.
Yeah, no, that's awesome, and I think it's important that kids know not to eat the lead paint. I mean, that's important because then
some of us had to learn the hard way. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. But on the flip side of things, I'm not a nice person, so that's like the one nice kind of fuzzy area. Everything else is about horror and death and blood and gore and stuff like that. So
I knew there was a reason I liked you.
You talk to Conrad about some of the monsters.
Dude, yeah, I was gonna say,
Shattered and
if a monster's ever giving you chills, it's probably because he wrote it. So
nice.
All of our best monsters, I'm fairly certain, have come out of his brain or were reimagined by his brain. Like
I can't wait, like I said, to get that book in my grubby little hands. You guys better believe there will be a Mr. Mean review of the book once I get it, for sure.
I hope so, yeah.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm not going to do it now because you want me to. I don't subscribe to your peer pressure.
I mean, fine, be that way, whatever.
Yeah. I'm just going to tell everyone I know that I like it, and that's all. That's as far as it's going.
Hey, no. I like this. You should get it too. Bye.
All right, cool. I like this book.
I usually go on the game store and I just slap people upside the head with the book and go, "Hey, moron, buy this," and they usually do. It's an amazing thing.
The world needs more people like that.
Exactly. So my wife says, you're so angry all the time. I said, no, I'm happy. It's just an angry happy.
Not the hero we needed or deserved, but the hero we needed.
Exactly. It's a Deadpool is a personal icon of mine. So, yeah. All right. So we've been on here, I guess, about an hour? Has anybody got anything else they'd like to share? I know we're having tons of fun and we'd love to keep doing this, but frankly, you guys bore me. So what else do we want to go over? We've talked about upcoming projects. We've talked about your Kickstarter. Tex, if you'd be so, well, I think you already sent me all the links, but make sure I have all the links to all your stuff. And I'll put them in the show notes here when I post this to YouTube's. And guys, I can't really, all joking aside, I can't say enough thank you for spending the last hour with me. It's been pure hell. I mean, joy. I meant to say that. I really did. I've enjoyed it immensely to get a, kind of that inside look at the cool shit that you guys are doing. And I can't really say enough. I show the PDF to all my friends and I'm like, dude, you guys got to go buy this. And they don't. And so I stab them because I'm a caring friend.
You don't have that many friends.
I want them to have good reading in their life.
I stab because I care.
I'm hugging you, but I'm stabbing you.
You made me do this.
Exactly. No, I've turned it on to several of my friends, and I turned Feral Games James over. I turned him on to I.N.D.E because we were chatting in Discord, and I said, "Oh, dude, you got to look at this. You don't know," and he didn't know anything about it. And it's funny how, just talking with you guys just now about the different projects that you're into. There's so much stuff out there that nobody knows about, and I think people have this misconception that, oh, I'll put it on Kickstarter, I'll instantly become rich. And
no, man.
Yeah, no, it doesn't work that way. Because there's just people don't read, they don't pay attention, they don't, they don't. I mean, you can have all the social media in the world, but you can't make something. So I think it's important that we tell our friends and our family and our coworkers and things like that about the things we're into, and maybe bring some enlightenment and some joy into their lives. And I mean, I've started talking to people about stuff, and they go, "Hey, man, that's really not my cup of tea." Tex will tell you we live in the religious belt, so when you start talking fungoidal people kind of look at you strange. You need to go to church,
Dude, I'm in Nebraska. I hear you.
I'm in Nebraska.
I know how that is.
So
I grew up in an overprotective religious home, and I got grounded the first time I was caught playing D&D. So I know how that is.
Yeah, but you're doing it naked with the dog. So I mean, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'm right there with you. I talked about this yesterday with James. I remember in junior high school, I played football and I played lacrosse because it was very big up there. And I remember when my player's handbook fell out of my backpack, and it was like someone had infested me with the plague. Because it was early 80s, and that was when D&D is devil worshiping and everything was going on.
Oh yeah,
485. The stigmata that went with it, And I went from being the popular kid to the pariah, and like overnight, literally. So yeah, and I think role-playing games have made me the wonderful human being I am today. So I think we need to get the word out there. But you were going to say, Josh?
Oh, I was going to say, speaking of, there was a game that I missed backing, but in reference to what we were talking about, a game called Satanic Panic that came out a little while ago, and it was you are playing agents of a special FBI task force that is designed to seek out and eradicate groups of D&D players. So it's a tabletop RPG where you have to eliminate the occult from society, but it's all about how it's a
corrupting influence and
and it's kind of a tongue-in-cheek kind of tabletop RPG about that whole kind of panic about D&D.
Dude, they actually had FBI investigations going on because these parents didn't know what this game Dungeons and Dragons was, and they had FBI investigations into the background of Gary Gygax and Dave Arness and all the guys behind WotC, or TSR at the time.
Yeah,
that's crazy, dude. I mean, it's a game, people. I mean, but 10 years later, we had the kids running records backwards, listening to satanic messages from AC/DC and Ozzy, and going out and killing their dogs. So just tells you what kind of people we are. We're stupid. So we need a breath of fresh air, and I think that's what I.N.D.E brings to this community. And I'm so grateful to have you guys in it. I, for one, and that's my happy note. I won't do that shit ever again. So, that's all you get. Thank you very much.
Berate us all from here on forward. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. That's all you get is derision and mean. The tears of babies bring me joy. That's all I'm saying. But in a serious note, really, thank you guys for making a kick-ass product. It gets the Mr. Mean seal of approval wholeheartedly, and I just can't wait for it to be out. And I wish you guys nothing but much success, and I hope you guys keep producing fantastic, amazingly good-looking products. If Shattered is anything to be foreshadow of the future, I wish you nothing but much success. In all seriousness.
Thank you.
All right. Is there anything else anybody would like? Any parting shots? And we want to tell Tex to piss off or anything like that?
No, we can do that later.
We do that in Discord all the time. All right, guys. Well, I think we're going to end the feed. If you guys want to stay on and chit chat offline, you're more than welcome to. But I'm going to stop the broadcast here. I want to thank everybody, all 3 viewers, for watching. You guys mean the world to me. I don't know who the hell you are. Don't really care, but I appreciate you watching. All of the I.N.D.E guys that watched and or listened or will watch and listen this later, thank you very much. And all the people on my channel, thank you very much. And thank you guys for being on here. And I hope to do it again with you guys on the next product.
Absolutely.
Thanks for
having
us.
us.
All right, I'm going to stop the broadcast. Everybody, thanks a lot.